What if you were the last person on Earth? Hey guys, just imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You check your phone, no new messages. You open social media, nothing. You look outside your window. The streets are completely silent. No cars, no children going to school, no neighbors walking their dogs. At first it feels peaceful. But then you realize something impossible. You are the last human left on Earth. How long could you actually survive? Let's find out. The first few hours wouldn't be that difficult. Electricity would still be working in many places because power plants don't shut down instantly. Your tap would probably still have running water. Supermarkets would be full of food. Gas stations would still have fuel. It would almost feel like everyone had simply disappeared. But that illusion wouldn't last for long. Within a day or two, problems would start appearing. Many power plants require workers to constantly monitor equipment. Without human supervision, safety systems would automatically shut them down. Large sections of the electrical grid would begin going dark. No electricity means no internet. No internet means no GPS, no communication, and eventually no access to digital information stored online. Then comes water. Most cities depend on electrically powered pumps to move clean water into homes. Once those pumps stop working, taps run dry. Even if you have enough bottled water for a while, eventually you'll need to find rivers, lakes, or rainwater and purify it yourself. And that's just the beginning. Food might seem like the least of your worries. After all, supermarkets contain thousands of meals. But fresh food would spoil within days as refrigerators stop working. Frozen food would thaw. Fruits and vegetables would rot. Eventually, only canned goods, dried foods, and packaged items would remain usable. Luckily, many of these foods can last for years. The real challenge isn't finding food. It's finding enough food while constantly staying safe. Hospitals would become useless. If you break a bone, if you get appendicitis, if you develop a serious infection, there would be no doctors, no ambulances, no pharmacies being restocked. Even a small injury that normally takes one visit to the hospital could become life-threatening. For the first time in your life, your greatest enemy wouldn't be another person. It would be simple bad luck. Now let's talk about something we rarely think about: animals. Many pets locked inside homes would sadly die within days if nobody released them. But others would escape. Dogs would form wild packs. Zoo animals could eventually break free if enclosures deteriorated over time. Farm animals would roam freely across fields. Meanwhile, nature would begin reclaiming human civilization. Without maintenance, roads would crack. Plants would grow through buildings. Trees would slowly swallow abandoned neighborhoods. Within decades, many cities would look like forests with skyscrapers sticking out. Earth wouldn't miss us nearly as much as we think. But here's the biggest challenge: loneliness. Humans are social creatures. Our brains evolved to communicate, cooperate, and build relationships. Studies on prolonged isolation show that people can develop anxiety, depression, memory problems, and even hallucinations after extended periods without meaningful human contact. Imagine celebrating your birthday alone. Imagine never hearing another human voice. Imagine knowing that every conversation you've ever had was your last. For many people, this psychological burden would become harder than finding food or shelter. Could you repopulate humanity? The simple answer is no. One person cannot rebuild the human population. Even if advanced reproductive technology existed, the lack of genetic diversity would make long-term survival of the species impossible. In reality, humanity's story would end with you. Ironically, Earth itself would recover surprisingly well. Air pollution would rapidly decrease. Wildlife populations would expand. Many endangered species would slowly return to habitats that humans once occupied. Nature has an incredible ability to heal when left alone. The planet doesn't actually need humans to survive. Humans need the planet. So, if you were truly the last person on Earth, your biggest challenge wouldn't be hunger, or wild animals, or finding shelter. It would be carrying the weight of knowing that every achievement, every language, every culture, every piece of human history now depends on a single person. And that's a responsibility almost impossible to imagine. Because in the end, the scariest part of being the last person on Earth isn't being alone. It's knowing that when you disappear, humanity disappears with you. So that was the video, guys. See you tomorrow. Hasta la vista, baby!